As 2024 comes to a close, I wanted to shout out the most impactful, the most exciting, the best watches that were released from brands this year. So we're going to start at number 10. We'll go all the way down to number 1. Coming in at number 10 is the Oris Aquis Date. Now, this watch is completely updated in 2024, and it is already one of my favorite modern diver designs. This is available in multiple sizes, multiple colors. You even have the choice of going with the Solita movement or the in-house caliber 400. I think it has great specs. It has distinctive present on the wrist. And my current favorite of the lot is the 43.5 millimeter upcycle dial that has a dial that's crafted out of recycled plastics. I think it's a really cool looking dial. Now, depending on how you option this, depending on the strap, the movement selection, you're going to spend anywhere from $2,500 to $4,200 full retail. Now, coming in at number 9 is an impressive watch that is far out of my budget and likely always will be. This is the Bulgari Octo Finissimo Ultra COSC. So this is the world's thinnest watch. This is only 1.7 millimeters in total height. In fact, the back plate of the movement also serves as the case back of the watch because the brand tried to find every possible savings in total height. So it's just impressive what they've been able to accomplish in thinning out this watch. This is the world's thinnest COSC certified watch, and it retails for about $529,000. So it's a $500,000 watch if you are offered this at retail. So quite an impressive offering, but again, not in my future, whereas the Oris Aquis certainly could be. Now, coming in at number 8, this is the Tudor Pelagos FXD GMT. And yes, the Blancpain 58 GMT got all the fanfare this year when it comes to a true GMT complication, but I think the FXD looks better. It's larger, it's thin, it's perfectly proportioned, and it has a lovely, sporty, how would you say, military type of feel to it. And I think it's great value at a full retail price of $4,625. Now, coming in at number 7, this is a funky one. It is the Pioneer Center Seconds from Moser, but it's the Concept Citrus Green. Essentially, this is a sunray dial that is so loud, so powerful, but there's no brand signature on the dial. There's nothing on the dial outside of a loud green fume sunray color application and then a ring of lume around the circumference. I think this is thoroughly lovely when it comes to the in-house movement and totally underrated at a retail price of $15,900. And this is one that I would like to buy and put on their fantastic bracelet. This one would be a stealth high horology piece that nobody would see coming. Now, the next watch coming in at number 6 is the Blancpain 50 Fathoms Automatic 42. And this was scaled down from 45 millimeter to 42 millimeter. This year, I think it's perfectly proportioned. It's made out of grade 23 titanium. It has a very impressive 5-day in-house movement. And I think you just can't go wrong with the celebration of the world's first dive watch. It goes in any situation. It's understated, it's underrated, and it's very tough. So a great daily driver. And this one retails for $18,400. Now, number 5, this one, we go to Japan. This is a Grand Seiko, the SBGA 497, otherwise known as the Pink Snowflake. Now, admittedly, it's essentially just a limited version, a different color of Grand Seiko's most iconic modern spring drive release, the Snowflake. But this one is subtle in its brilliance with that pink hue, and it's unlike any other pink dial that I've seen in person. It's not too subtle to where it disappears, but it's not overpowering where it just draws the eye and it might be difficult to match on occasion. It's just crisp and clean and beautiful, highly detailed, and this retails for $6,300. So, this one is definitely one I could see in my own future. Now, coming in at number 4 is the Tudor Blancpain Chrono, but it's the all blue boutique version. And admittedly, I'm not a fan of Tudor only offering this at select boutiques, but I love the watch itself. I love the size. I love how it wears. I've owned the white dial. I've reviewed the black dial, the two-tone version. I think it's a really great sport piece. This one has the 5-link bracelet. It has the T-Fit clasp, and it has arguably the best value chronograph that you can buy in the market. It's a modified and upgraded B01 that Tudor got from Breitling. And I just love the versatility here. I love the color. I love really everything about this. I especially like the price at $5,675. For the price, I'm not sure that this could be beat for a great sporty chronograph. Now, coming in at number 3 is another chronograph, this time from Omega. This is the Dark Side of the Moon Apollo 8. And yes, this is not a brand new model for this year. This is an update of an existing model, but what a difference a small update has done for this piece in upgrading its cool factor and its functionality. So now there is a 3860X movement in here that is meta certified, and it's laser ablated to show the geography of the moon, the front side on the dial side, and the dark side of the moon on the movement side. So it's just it's such a cool piece. And note, the running seconds hand is no longer just a boring hand member. It's a micro Saturn V rocket. So I know it's a little bit gimmicky, but this watch, you can't scratch it. It has such a cool concept. And for the price of $14,300, it is a bit stiff, but it's a heck of a watch. And I had to put this high on my list at number 3. Now, coming in at number 2 is another Omega chronograph. This time, it is the Speedmaster Professional lacquered white dial. I know a lot of you saw this coming from a mile away, but it's also interesting how a few small changes to the dial, to the indices, made such an impact on the overall model. Essentially, this is a sapphire sandwich, but with a lacquered white step dial, applied markers, and it's perfectly versatile. It is so sharp in person. This is a fantastic release, and I think a long overdue one from Omega. The retail price on this is $8,100. Now, coming in at number 1, this is the most impressive watch release of the year. I think hands down, I think easily, and I had to place it at number 1 on the list. This is the IWC Portuguese Eternal Calendar. So not only is it a perpetual calendar with a moon phase, which I think is technically very impressive when it's mechanical, but this goes to the next level of keeping track of skipping a leap year every 400 years. And this is all done mechanically. I can't even begin to think how they engineered this, how to make this technically possible with just gears, ratio, using mathematics in creating a mechanical timepiece. It's so hard for me to comprehend. But the fact that it's that accurate, and then you take into account the moon phase, which is accurate for 45 million years. I just don't see how this doesn't win all the awards this year as the most impressive release. I think architecturally speaking, it's a very attractive watch. Everything's laid out in an easy to read manner. That's difficult to do when you have so much information to display. I love the fact that there's just this massive box or bubble sapphire crystal that encapsulates the top of the watch. So you see all of the display to an expansive degree. So it's the most impressive. I think I've heard differing reports on its retail price. It's certainly going to be over $100,000, but IW says price on request. Not a watch that I ever see in my personal future, unfortunately, but I could see a perpetual calendar from them in the future, just not an eternal calendar. And that wraps up my top 10 picks for 2024. The watches I thought were the most exciting, the most impactful, my own favorite. I'm curious to hear what you think of my picks, what you think I got wrong, what you like, what you would place in the top 10. And I want to thank you for a great 2024. If you appreciate my content, please hit like, please subscribe to the channel. I have a lot more planned in the coming year, and I'd love to share it with you. Thanks.